Christian for KaijuPup.com, and this is Nano Assault Neo X. It's quite a mouthful, isn't it? This is on PS4 from shin'en. And yeah, it's on PS4. It comes to the American store, I think, tomorrow as I'm recording this, November 11th. And I think it's been out in Europe for a while, and some other territories, not here in Japan. But we're playing this version grabbed off the American store at the moment. So yeah, it's been out in Europe for a little bit, so there's plenty of people on leaderboards and whatnot. Nicely mediocre there. And what this is it's been around for a while, Nano Assault. I think starting out on 3DS, so maybe original DS, and then there was a version on Wii U, which I think was the Nano Assault Neo part, and now this is Nano Assault Neo X, so it's even more Neo than Neo was. And what it is, basically, it's a twin-stick shooter, and I can only imagine the 3DS version had used the touchscreen for it, because I don't believe it used on the second analog stick on that. And it's really similar. I mean, the first thing that pops into my head playing this is Super Stardust HD, although like it's actually, in a way, it has, and hopefully we'll see it, some tunnel flying sequences that make it more, I guess they make it closer to the original Stardust in that regard. You want to collect you want to collect the letters BONUS, and then you get bonus, and then you do the into the screen fly bits. But in the meantime, you're shooting up these, I don't know, whatchamacallits and hoojamaflips, as you're flying over the surface of this kind of, I think that the deal is you're flying over these cells. It's always talking about cell purification and whatnot. If you see, I've got a counter at the left of the screen there, which is at 91% at the moment, and you want to purify the cells by completely blowing everything up on the thing. But the stage is going to self-destruct in 9 seconds, so you've kind of got to weigh that stuff up at the end. You get a certain amount of bonus for, I don't know, escaping with a certain amount of time, but you also kind of really want to get everything that's on the stage. In between, you can spend money on different things. You get a satellite, and attracting nearby collectibles is helpful. I mean, shield's also helpful. Yeah, this doesn't have the kind of weapons options that you have in Super Stardust, but what it does have is you can pick up these, it calls them satellites. If you're an old school shooter guy, then you will know them as options, like these little things that are flying alongside my ship here. And actually, if you touch the touchpad, bosh, then you can actually maneuver these around and place them wherever you want to give them more, to give you more coverage. And switch to this one, and you can do that. You can have them shoot in different positions if you want. So I can have one shoot in the opposite direction and go on the front of my ship like that, and then I should be covered. Or you can focus your firepower in one direction and do it that way. That's kind of neat. I kind of like that. But yeah, it doesn't, apart from that, it doesn't really change things up in terms of giving you different weapons or making you play with different strategies. You have an alternate weapon which you buy in the store or you pick up. So mine's like this heat-seeking missile thing that I press with the R1 button. But your primary weapon is always the same, which is this kind of blobby blue thing. And I think, if anything, like there's you know, there's a few issues with like how powerful the game kind of makes you feel, and it's mainly down to, I think, usually when you're talking about shmups, I think it's one thing where it's okay to be a kind of a whore for graphics and a whore for sound, definitely, and sound is really important to a shooter. And, you know, it certainly sounds like I'm no audiophile, given the fact that I'm still, as you can tell if you're listening, doing shit commentary on this video, using the shitty onboard or packed in PS4 mic. But sound is really important to a shooter, whether it's a twin stick shooter, whether it's a bullet hell shmup, anything like that. Sound is super important. But, you know, here I kind of think the music's a little bit nondescript. It's kind of a little bit Euro housey and not especially exciting. I'm trying to find those last three beasties. Oh, I can't see them. Oh, okay, script. But I think the most important thing is that the guns and the explosions. Hey, I got all the bonus things, so we're able to see this bit. I think that the bummer about it is that the guns and the explosions sound really weedy. You know, bass is really important to a shooter of this type, and the sound really isn't bassy at all, and it kind of just leaves the whole experience feeling a little bit weak in my book. So the tunnel sequences here, which, oh crap, I'm bollocks at, there you go, I said 18 seconds. They're kind of, yeah, a little bit Stardusty, original Stardust, that is, not Super Stardust HD. What do I want? Credit doublers, I suppose. I think it's like the money, the stuff you can buy with the money. I mean, like, you can only have one secondary weapon at a time, so I guess this one and another shield, and that will do me. There you go. Yeah, so I'm gonna shut up a little bit here, just so you can get an idea for how kind of tinny the explosions are. If I ever find anything to shoot, jeez. Hey, hopefully you can see what I mean. It's not like, you know, you're not causing gigantic kabooms. Like, there was supposed to be a kaboom. It's just kind of a really kind of weedy, you know, 8-bit-ish sounding explosion, which is weird, you know, because I kind of think presentationally, you know, there's attempts made to make it look the part. Certainly, it looks pretty cool, I think. You know, unlike with something like Super Stardust HD, where you're flying across a uniform globe, here there's different terrain, and you can kind of take that into account, I guess. You can kind of like use these rocks for cover. You know, when you're sort of frantically getting to an exit, sort of bits like this can throw you off and make you temporarily disoriented and whatnot, and that's kind of neat, I think. But I think it does also in places work against it. It's okay now. I think when we get to the next batch of levels here, you'll really see it, or you'll see me make an excuse that a lot of things like enemies and enemy projectiles can blend in with the backgrounds really easily. Everyone right now is shooting these bright neon projectiles, so you know it looks stark enough. But there's a lot of enemies later on that kind of just blend into the background, and that's super annoying if it's by design, and a bit of an oversight if it's not. There you go. So this, the weapon I picked up here is pretty handy. It's kind of flail gimmick. Ah, crap! I'm dying. This is on the first batch of levels as well. I kind of suck at this game. Usually I'm better than that. But yeah, it's usually each batch. I'm only on the second one here. You get 3 regular levels and the boss. I'll have another run on that in a little bit. I think like the boss for this first set of levels is ludicrously easy. But yeah, you'll see what I mean if I start up this Zeta stage here. You know, here the terrain's much more complex, and there's kind of trees everywhere, and this kind of thing. And these little bug dudes, they kind of blend in a little bit. It's really easy, A, because of their color, the color of the environment, and the fact that these little spore deals kind of block the view of the camera at times. It's almost like the game does look really cool, but it's almost at the expense. It's like form over function, in a way. Let's see, I got these dudes. And here, those bright neon bullets, they don't stick out as much when they're sort of neon orangey brown and the environment is neon orangey brown. There's kind of a, the deal with scoring again is different to Super Stardust HD or Resogun if you're used to those games. It's not really a case of staying alive for as long as possible and doing as much damage as possible without getting hit. It's not so much about that as it is about being in big crowds and then performing crowd control as much as possible. See, I had no idea that little beastie was there, but it damaged me. Yeah, and doing as much crowd control as possible because you have a really short timer for your multiplier, and you have to follow up one piece of damage done, one enemy blown up with the next as quickly as possible. 93% complete. There is a trophy for getting 100%, killing 100% of everything on the level, but I'm going to be cutting it fine here. Again, it's always like there's two little bastards two little fuckers that you can't see anywhere. No, okay, let's get out of here. Boing boing. Yeah, the satellite would be helpful. And attracting that and doing that. Okay, right. So yeah, I think now it would behoove me, now I have 4 of these things, to move them around a little bit. If you don't, you can use the analog stick to move this around, or you can use the touchpad to do it. I'm gonna put you guys here, and you guys turn around. What? Hey, wait. Does that mean they're gonna shoot that way? No, they were there by default. Okay. I think that works. Yeah. Good turn. Yes, there we go. But yeah, I mean, some of this looks really pretty. I think it was, these. I haven't played the 3DS original, but I think that was a case of it looking kind of good for a 3DS game. And yeah, I believe it ported well to the Wii U, and it does look really nice, in a kind of in a gross sense. It like with sort of fighting beasties on this like giant hairy testicular manifestation here, but you're a sucker for I'm a sucker for nice fur textures. It does look good. But yeah, I mean that's the other thing. I think like there's a couple of different schools of thought to soundtracks as well. If you're into your shooters, you know that either they should be either you like your Japanese shooters, in which case they should be kind of power metal-y in their soundtracks, or you like European shooters, in which case you know it should be house music. And I suppose this is slightly more of a Euro shooter, you know, sonically, but I much prefer my my Japanese hair metal if I'm playing a game of this sort. But yeah, I think just in general it needs more bass all around, and it needs more sort of punchy explosions. You kind of need to feel like you're a little bit more powerful than you are. But that said, I think on its own merits, it's pretty cool. It's kind of a fun game. Kill you. There you go. Next I open over there, and like this level is pretty big and wide open, so you should be able to find the last stragglers here. Like you. And you. If you don't make the exit in time, by the way, you aren't penalized with a life or anything like that. You don't die, it's just that you don't get any bonus points at all. And again, I'm just gonna bank those, get out of there. More money. Oh, more problems. So I kind of wonder whether in later boss shit, here, camouflage, not good. Need to use my secondary mechanism there. And I kind of wonder whether in later levels, later situations, later boss fights, things like that, whether shit, crap. I'm gonna run to the other side of this gross donut. Whether it will really sort of behoove you more to manage your options here, so they can either do more damage or provide you with more cover. It would be nice. Balls. That's the thing, half the time you can't see where things are shooting at you from. That's my excuse anyway. Yeah, it would be nice to have to change your sort of tactics in that regard, to change them up on the fly. Would be kinda cool, I think. But yeah, as it is so far, I'm kind of finding an arrangement of those things that looks good to me, and then going, yep, okay, and then keeping it that way until sort of further notice kind of thing. I really need a satellite. There we go. There's one. Okay. Again, there, what hit me? I don't know. You know, it's like, ugh. There's an extent, visuals are really important to a shooter, but at the same time, visual design is really important to a shooter, and not just kind of, I don't know, being spectacular. Of course, like, it's important for shooters to be visually spectacular, but also for you to be able to pass exactly what's going on at any one time is super important, and I'm kind of unable to do that all of the time here. You know, because a lot of this, well, we're going to make our enemies the same color as the environment and this kind of thing. Oh, that's not good at all. And no bonus letters here on this stage at all. Oh, there's one. Finally, I have a B. While being chased by not really space bees, I mean sort of like space termites. You can do it! Yay! Trophy me do. Oh, but now I don't know where the exit was. Oh, it's over here. Okay. Hooray! Yep, that'll do. And the shield, there we go. I think as well, like, these point pickups are worth 100 points. There's something like delightfully twee about that, you know. In today's sort of, well, I think any shooter in the last, you know, in recent years, it's kind of like, well, you want ludicrous scores, you know, in the millions and such. So, and I'm getting up there now. So to have a 100 point pickup doesn't really mean much. We will fight these things, whatever we're fighting. We shall fight them on the beaches. We shall fight them on the testicles. There we go. Oh no. You can take 3 hits per life, and I think there's ways of recovering damage, you know, pickups for armor. That would seem to follow and make sense. Paying attention to that. Okay. Yeah, I just noticed there's the map as well can kind of, there's a little map on the left. Honestly, I've played this for a little while now, and I hadn't noticed that there was a map on the left. You can kind of use, I think as well, like there's not much in the way of defensive options, or just kind of just options in general, and in terms of, I don't mean in terms of options menus, but I mean in terms of tactical options. There's really fairly little, because, you know, I mean, if you think about Super Stardust, you had a shield, you had the sort of hyperspace like thing, you know, you had means of getting out of trouble, or potentially getting into more trouble. What hit me just then? I don't know. Very, very fast. And here you don't have that. I'm kind of yearning for a little speed boost, or at least pickups that would make me move faster, because you kind of do move pretty slowly in Nano Assault. So yeah, it would be cool to kind of zip along a little bit more, have a little bit more pep in the step, so to speak. You. Hopefully be able to get to the second boss here. this time. Oh, I used up all my bombs, so now we're good. And that was a kind of a weedy hit to take. Part of it as well, like, you can't see a lot of threats coming from far away because you've got the camera kind of moving around this non-uniform terrain. A little bit harder to see what's coming up on you. There we go, should open up the exit menu. I guess that opens up after 90%, I'd imagine. But I kind of just want to get to the exit here so that I can get to the bus. I'm going to do that. And I wish I could get an extra life here. That would be pretty helpful. Who's that? Let's get a shield. Okay. And you guys said, like, I beat the last boss in about 30 seconds, so I'm not sure whether this is going to be any different. It is a little bit different. So, yeah, this is bringing the camera all the way in down low, which is interesting. And didn't last long, so I only had one hit left. Never mind. $350, that's alright. Behind Stig Do and DJ Yo-Yo. There you go. So there's a few other modes. There's a 2-player mode, which is split screen. Which I'm not going to play because I'm set on my own here. Also tried to share play this, and at the moment it's kind of saying nah. I think because I got a code for this for the US store and the game's not out yet, so it kind of share play doesn't play nice with things that aren't on a specific storefront yet. So yeah, I'll keep you posted whenever there's a review on kaijupod.com. We'll say whether it's actually share play supported or not. There's arcade mode where you can just take out each individual thing at once. So if you want to see what that first Weedy boss was like and have a bunch of credits in order to do it, you can do that if you want. Yep. But, of course, no power-ups. So doing this... doing this as as part of, the set of levels where you've already tooled your ship up with a whole bunch of options. And you're kind of golden. But, if you just jump into it, then you've only got one tiny, weedy, rubbishy gun. And so it is a good deal harder. I'm not exactly sure what's arcadey about this mode. Surely if you're in the arcades you would have to play for as long as possible on one. I don't know. There's also a wave, I'm reliably informed, a wave style survival thing that unlocks when you've beaten the main game. I'm evidently rubbish at the wing game, so it's going to take me a little while to do that yet. But no. There we go. There we go somewhere. There we go. Did it. So yeah, you can get individual stage rankings. Nobody plays that mode. So despite my abhorrent score, I'm top 5 in the world, brilliant, and best amongst my friends, so I'm the only one with it. So yeah, there's that. There's an extra survival mode if you're dead good, and you can watch the credits if you want. It's kind of fairly bare bones, which probably betrays its its original sort of 3DS origins, but it's nice enough. I mean, it could do with having you feel more powerful, both defensively and offensively, I think. But it's a decent looking. It's pretty, and it's kind of a fun shooter. So you might want to check it out if it's cheap, as and when. So that's Nano Assault Neo X on PS4. Chris Chart for GoJPub.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.